Hey guys, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro-Negro channel. If you're new, please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe below. Click the bell for notifications and like the video. We have lots of info coming your way. A lot happened today. Since the morning when Felipe renewed his contract, Flamengo went fiercely after the market, right? We had it here, man. I'm ready to get started, right? Bringing some information before talking about our sponsors. Vitão 44 minutes ago. Here, he posted a photo in Maragogi. Okay, 44 minutes ago, Vitão 44 is there. Look, he posted this photo. He even looks like Vini Jr. in the photo, but the first comment is Vini Jr., Mango in the comments. Yeah. So Vitão posted and Vini Jr., he commented Mango on the posts. Let me bring you some important information here. Yeah, we're going to talk about the transfer market, about players, and that's where Flamengo's radar comes in. Another forward is on Flamengo's radar. I've already told you that if Al Hilal lets him go, Flamengo might go all in and sign Marcos Leonardo for 20 to 25 million euros. Marcos Leonardo is also a very young player. We're going to talk about Caio Jorge here, man. We have a lot to discuss with you. I even had to take notes so you can get an idea because there's a lot. We're going to talk about goalkeepers too. There's a coincidence involving Vitão and Caio Jorge. Caio Jorge, by the way, had a statement from Pedrinho that got Flamengo fans excited. We're going to talk about a lot of possibilities here, including the fact that we already mentioned earlier that Cruzeiro is already looking for a replacement for Caio Jorge. So guys, it's a lot of things. We're also going to talk about the issue here with Ruberti, the Palmeiras documentary. Those guys were really embarrassed by Abel Ferreira and company. People come here just like that, reminding you right away. Always in our pinned comment, we have our sponsors reminding you that you can play responsibly. For those over 18, it's just for fun, not investing. Tips are always in our Insta bio and stories highlights. And also to remind you that on the 31st, okay, haven't you gotten the points from the ministry's PIX Benefits Club yet? You can exchange them for products, experiences, man, it's amazing. These points also turn into chances to win prizes. You have instant prizes of up to 100,000 Ries. On Raspol, you won the epics in your account. Only 3 days remain until the 31st. You can win 1 million Reais. 3 prizes of 1 million Reais will be given away. And on January 2nd, right at the start of 26, you'll also be competing for a prize of 2 million Reais. So, point your phone at this QR code, you won't regret it. And of course, we also have here the Aruldo Caravan, reminding you that you can get in touch with the Aruldo Caravan, the best travel service for Mango fans. He takes you, look, Aruldo, he's been doing this for years, many World Libertadores. He takes you to the Recopa Sudamericana in Buenos Aires. He also takes you to Flamengo games at Maracanã with tickets, man. Brasileirão, Copa do Brasil, Libertadores, Recopa, Supercopa Carioca. You can book everything with Aruldo's Caravan, and he won't leave you outside. He won't, because he's totally in. He'll take good care of you. He doesn't play with your dream, okay? And we have all the sponsors there. Well, let's go. I want to thank them. 276 million views in 30 days on the 276 million on Instagram. Altogether, we're nearing 500 million on all platforms. Look at Abel. Here's a statement from him. I can't deceive you or lie. The Brazilian championship is very tough and we don't have enough energy to spend on this competition until the end. We don't have a statement from Abel Ferreira that went viral in this documentary, which really shows how embarrassing this Palmeiras documentary is. We also have some other statements here, which I found, man, impressive, right, man? How do these guys even think about publicizing this kind of situation, right? So, man, is that it? I was following here, listening to the guys talking about it. In the locker room, right? The image, right? Behind the scenes there. The guys in the locker room talking about free kicks. Flamengo won 3-2 at Maracanã. The Palmeiras players agreeing to complain a lot, to ask for a lot of fouls, to bother the referee. Typical, right? Typical situation that they do, right? I'm going to get it here, man. Carlos Daniel posted it, man. I was impressed. Yeah, look, just bringing you some news about goalkeepers, huh? I'll bring it. I'm going to get it here on Insta from the influencer Carlos Daniel. Look here. He showed this situation with Palmeiras. Man, I was impressed. The guys were talking about... Let me get it here. They were talking about the issue of drawing fouls and everything. Okay?
It's here on the internet. How amazing that Palmeiras had such a failed season and we can see it. I'm thanking God for Palmeiras having a failed season.
Yeah, right?
And they let it go.
Even so, for example,
Palmeiras watching Flamengo become the Libertadores champion and all of Palmeiras' failures this year, the piece, right? Giscadão Palmeiras wrote this Palmeiras documentary for Global. It's embarrassing. As if the humiliation this year with so many flaws wasn't enough. They made a documentary expecting the team to win and capture the highlights, but ended up just filming the guys lamenting.
man, it's really unbelievable. But there was a moment here that he posted. It's right here. Look, in this image.
Do you see the Palmeiras players, including Andres Pereira, commenting and talking about the refereeing one day before the match against Flamengo?
Whoa.
Palmeiras talked about Brazilian refereeing. In the Palmeiras documentary, Andres Pereira said, sometimes there are 2 minutes and 10 fouls.
Andres Pereira speaking is the indicator. Then Mauricio was a counterpoint. He said, no, this thing about complaining during the game, it's really ugly. Then Bruno Fouque. But he's about Brazilian soccer.
My son Mauricio.
Of course, we know, but so what? So what?
And Bruno Fuchs replied, your coaches, haven't you already got them? And he said, if one goes 3 or 4 go, you have to put on pressure. Mauricio.
That's it, of course.
F-E-L-I-P-E, Andres, you'll see soon.
You'll see tomorrow against Flamengo. 3, 2, go, Dad. It's on. Everyone will be there. It's missing.
Go. It's there. The whole team will have a free kick. I'll stand in front of the ball, not let
the guy planning how it was going to be.
In the other games, they already give 2 minutes, 10 fouls.
Imagine tomorrow. If in the other games, they already give 10 fouls in 2 minutes. Imagine tomorrow. They showed their tactics, the Palmeiras players. In the documentary, their tactic to get more fouls and everything else in the games was exposed. Yeah, look, it turns out the plan backfired, huh, that documentary? Besides, Palmeiras fans don't like it when rival fans praise and love to see their guys getting screwed. It's impressive to watch things being exposed like this, isn't it? Look, we had Pedrinho. I'll start talking about Caio Jorge here. We had Pedrinho saying that Caio Jorge doesn't like a certain situation. Look at what Pedrinho said. Several European teams want Jorge, so here's the situation.
I called him a kid. It's just that I have a really good relationship with Russia, with the cold. He doesn't want to go, so that's already good news. That's already good news, right?
Someone called me, man. I can't believe it. Pedrinho, Cruzeiro Sociedade Anônima do Futebol owner, said he's not going to Russia. He dislikes the cold. So what about Rio? Flamengo's fans, of course, they had to cause trouble, right? Rio is hot, so it's perfect for Caio Jorge to go to Rio de Janeiro, right? So we have some information to share with you. Flamengo is still determined to sign Caio Jorge and is preparing a new offer to Cruzeiro. In the initial approach, the red and black team presented 2 alternatives, a payment of 30 million euros, about 195 million reais, or an offer of 22 million euros, 143 million reais, plus the forward Everton. Cebolinha, both rejected by the team from Minas because of Pedrinho, right? He said he wants 325 million reais or 50 million euros. Despite the rejection, the red and black board believes the deal could move forward if the offer is adjusted to something close to 30 million euros. Okay. With Cebolinha added, negotiations remain in the early stages and are far from concluded. Cruzeiro plans tougher negotiations as they don't want to trade Caio Jorge, especially to a direct national rival. They view Flamengo and Palmeiras as their top title rivals. Watch. Now, there's an important issue for us to bring up here, okay? Flamengo. I also checked with a source connected to the club, and Flamengo is going all in. As we reported earlier, and GE confirms Flamengo is fully committed. But Flamengo is going to consider the possibility of, instead of raising this amount from 22 to 30, including Cebolinha and another player. And Cruzeiro has an issue. Is Cruzeiro negotiating their left back? He might leave due to the Italy deal, according to Gianluca Di Marzio. And then Flamengo has 3 left backs, so Flamengo might negotiate one of them. It's worth remembering that Tite likes Ayrton Lucas. Flamengo has Vini, Ayrton Lucas, and Alexandro, who gets along well with Tite. Flamengo might include a left back, not necessarily Vini, who hasn't been linked to the Caio Jorge negotiation. That's another possibility. Flamengo will stand firm, believing setting a price gives value and opens negotiation. And there's another important factor for us to talk about here. About Caio Jorge. Flamengo signed him. Vitão is arriving tonight, from today to tomorrow, in Rio de Janeiro. I've already shown you even Vini Jr. commenting on his post, and Vitão is arriving. And you know that Vitão's staff, Vitão's agent, is the same as Caio Jorge's. And when he liked the post and then deleted it, and all this activity, the fact that Flamengo is insisting, the fact that Pedrinho set a high price but still put a price on the player, all of this shows that Flamengo already has the player's approval. That's what it shows. Vini Casagrande himself said that. That shows us that Flamengo has already talked to the agent, especially since he's also Vitão's agent. They've already talked to the agent and they already have the player's approval. And they're already putting pressure on Cruzeiro, okay? So what now? To top it off, Cruzeiro has already started to take precautions. Cruzeiro is signing a replacement for Caio Jorge, which would be Chico da Costa. He would be his replacement. Is Cruzeiro close to announcing the signing of Francisco da Costa? The 30-year-old striker returned to Cerro Porteño after being loaned to Mirassol in 2025. Talks are progressing and the deal is expected to close soon. So, they're already signing a player, a competitor for Caio Jorge, but who could also be his replacement, right? It depends on these negotiations between Flamengo and Cruzeiro. Flamengo will have to negotiate with Cruzeiro, yeah. The Flamengo board, in turn, is counting on Caio Jorge's desire to overcome Cruzeiro's resistance, okay? And it's important for us to bring up this issue we've already shown, the player, right? He doesn't want to go to Russia or join European clubs. For now, he prefers to stay in Brazil. He had a bad experience there and wants to stand out in Brazil. And there's this similarity with Gabigol, right? What similarity with Gabigol, right? Young, still, when he was young, went to Europe. It didn't work out, came back. Gabigol started at Santos. Caio Jorge also started there, returns to Brazilian football and joins Flamengo. Can you imagine? Yeah? These are situations that can change the course of football Sunday, okay? We also told you earlier that Flamengo did not agree to negotiate Jorge Carrascal. I spoke with a Flamengo executive who said they wouldn't sell any starting player from the team, and from those 13, 14, 16 starting players, okay, that's it. The Olympique de Marseille team approached Flamengo, but Flamengo said they would only consider offers over 25 million euros, which is 164 million reais. right? And then the newspaper AIS also brought this information, which confirms what we were telling you, that Flamengo would not negotiate this player. As for Emerson Royal, for now, there are only inquiries from clubs in Spain, England, and Portugal. Okay, no, there's nothing yet besides what he had said, that he was going to start the year flying. But now clubs interested in the player are starting to show up, and we also have some other situations to share with you regarding the market. Goalkeeper, right? We've been doing some important investigative work, right? What? For example, look at the news about Marcos. I'm going to talk about Marcos Leonardo, but the news is about Marcos Antônio. There are two Marcos that interest Flamengo, but it's the news about Marcos Antônio. It's important for us to talk about it. Look, is Flamengo really trying to sign the midfielder Marcos Antônio from São Paulo? Flamengo is analyzing the best way to negotiate with the midfielder who belongs to Lazio and has Felipe Luis's approval. São Paulo told Lazio they will use the 4 million euro, 26 million reais purchase option. Therefore, Flamengo must negotiate with both Lazio and Tricolor, who will likely seek financial compensation. Actually, they only need to negotiate with São Paulo, not Lazio. Flamengo could consider using rarely played players in 2025, with Allen being a possible option. To São Paulo, right? São Paulo was already inquiring, and the deal could be finalized soon. Remember, Marcos Antônio has long been a Flamengo target, okay? And Flamengo is still keeping an eye on the forwards as well. I'm going to talk about that, about Marcos Leonardo, about Tati Castellanos, who is also of interest to clubs in England, right? Look, Andre Hernan reported that Tati Castellanos has attracted interest from West Ham and Leeds United from England. Is he married to a Brazilian? That could even help with coming to Brazil. He sees a transfer in a positive light, but there's still no official offer from Flamengo, okay? He's valued at around 30 million euros. Andre Hernan says that Flamengo hasn't made an offer, it was just an inquiry. Flamengo is just monitoring, inquiring, but hasn't actually made an offer. But I heard those guys want a lot, okay? He's valued at 30 million euros, but they want much more. That's the reality. A lot of talk and activity. I spoke with a source connected to Flamengo's management who said that there really is interest in a striker. And Flamengo is looking for these strikers in the market, right? Is that it? So, look, we have another important situation here regarding the goalkeeper, okay? I've already told you about Pedro Morisco, who is a goalkeeper from Curitiba, who interests Flamengo and Flamengo. In the market for forwards and for a goalkeeper, I'll talk about forwards again later. We might bring another option for a forward who is interesting Flamengo, who Flamengo is monitoring, and we're looking into this. But the latest information is that Flamengo hasn't given up on Gabriel Brazão, the goalkeeper from Santos, okay? Pedro Morisco would be plan B, okay? So Flamengo's plan A to replace Matheus Cunha is Gabriel Brazão. Flamengo remains interested in signing Gabriel Brazão. I just did some research here, right? Look, what they told me is that Santos would still be trying to hold on a bit more, that they might accept a smaller offer, not as absurd as what was being said about Flamengo. And the deal could move forward because of Brazão. And this source connected to Flamengo's management said it could happen, okay? So, Gabriel Brazão could still become a Flamengo player. Goalkeeper Gabriel Brazão, who is wanted by Felipe Luis, the Flamengo coaching staff, and Boto, could be an option. Gabriel Brazão might come up as this option, okay? Besides that, Pedro Morisco, as I mentioned, is Flamengo's plan B. There was talk about Bento, but it seems like the deal for goalkeeper Bento didn't move forward. So I think that possibility is smaller, okay? Regarding the striker, Flamengo has two more names, right? Marcos Leonardo is one, along with Tati and Caio Jorge, whom Flamengo is pursuing. There's one more, which is Marcos Leonardo, and another one that we're checking to see if it's true. Anyway, it's confirmed Flamengo is interested in Marcos Leonardo. What I just found out is that Al Hilal, if they decide to negotiate for Marcos Leonardo, The amount would be around 20 to 25 million euros at the current exchange rate. Just so you have an idea, we're talking about 163 million and 0.5 raise, right? It's also the value for Carrascal, the same amount that Flamengo is asking for Carrascal. That's the amount owed. In this case, the player is young, a player from Al Hilal. That's the amount they should ask for. Remember that Flamengo can also include a player in the deal and can pay in installments or come up with some arrangement with goals and everything else, 20 plus goals. But he's a player highly rated by the fans. Many people actually prefer Marcos Leonardo to Caio Jorge. Share your opinion here. If you had to choose between Marcos Leonardo and Caio Jorge, who would you pick? Marcos Leonardo seems really strong, right? He's a player who stands out, and would really stand out here with Felipe Luis's style of play, right? In Felipe Luis's team, both he and Caio Jorge would stand out a lot. No doubt now, that's perfect. So we're talking about the transfer market here, bringing up all these situations. And remember, regarding Caio Jorge's staff is the same as Vitão's, okay? Is that right? Flamengo is already fierce in the market, stirring things up, and some interesting surprises might happen. Look, I want to talk to you here before we finish this video. In today's NBA games, okay, we have some interesting matchups. Man, yeah, it starts at 9:30 post-meridium, then after 10 post-meridium. You guys know I really root for the Chicago Bulls, which is red and black. They haven't been doing very well in recent years, but I like the Chicago Bulls because they're red and black. We have a good team from the Miami Heat taking the court as well today. And we also have the Golden State Warriors taking the court. It's not a field, right? Paparazzi on the court, and you can make a little extra cash, right? I didn't win, right? So I'm always putting the link in the stories, in the bio, in the highlights, so you can get it, right? I invite you to register and remind you to play responsibly, only for those over 18. It's for fun, it's not an investment. So it's NBA night, okay? So we have the chance to follow the NBA again, and there are other competitions going on as well, and you can take advantage of them, all right? I invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, hit the bell, and leave a like on the video. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. See you later. Thanks. I'm out.